Epithelium. Today in this class we will see the glandular epithelium. Okay, so what is glandular epithelium? Actually, the ducts carry product of exocrine glands to epithelial surface. Means whatever the gland is producing, that is coming uh, to the site of secretion with the help of glands and ducts, and which includes the following diverse glands, that is the mucus secreting glands, that is sweat glands and oil glands, salivary glands, after that liver and pancreas, then mammary glands. Okay, then it may be either unicellular or multicellular. So we will see the glands histologically in detail in this class. So appearance of cells and tissue when sliced, as you know that this, suppose this is a gland. If you cut it in the form of section, cross section, it appear like this. Another structure is this, in the section it appear like this. If it is cut from the nucleus, then it will appear like this. If it is not cut from the nucleus, it appear like this. Similarly here also, in this you can see, if it is cut from here, it will appear like this. If it is cut from here, it will appear like this. If it is cut from here too, so this one. Okay, so 5 1 is indicating here. Similarly 3 is indicating here, and 6 is indicating here. Like this we can see in the sections. If suppose this is a duct, if it is cut from the first, then it is appear like this. From second, then it appear like this, and third it would. So from a same organ we can find three kind of sections. So we have to be think like that, it may be in different appearance, but it is of the same organ according to the location. As we can see here, appearance of the cells and tissue when cut at various angles. So this one is the from here, this one is indicating from here, this one is indicating here, this one is indicating here. Similarly we can see 3 is here, second one is here, like this. So this is the differentiation from a same organ. Now what is gland? So certain cells of the body, in addition to carrying out some metabolic process necessary for their own existence, also manufacture a specific substance not for their own use but to be extruded from the cells and used elsewhere in the body. Okay, so these are the some specific cells that is not adding in addition to the production or metabolic process necessary for their own existence, but also manufacturing some specific substance not for their own use but for the use of the elsewhere in the body. And we have to discuss here two terms now, that is secretion, like gastric juice, okay, and excretion, like urine, means the thing which is excreted out of the body, that is we can use for them term excretion, and the term secretion we can use for the product which is used inside the body, like gastric juice. And such cells are known as gland cells or glandular epithelium. Cells are usually grouped into small units, enclosed and supported by a connective tissue framework. So such cells are known as gland cells or glandular epithelium cells, are usually grouped into small units. Okay, and it's enclosed and supported by connective tissue framework. Here we can see, we will see in the coming slides, and when we will see the histological photographs. And the gland may consist of a single cell, or for example like goblet cells, which is a unicellular gland of invertebrates. Okay, so that unicellular gland which is found in the invertebrate, and in vertebrate the goblet cells in the found in the epithelium of the intestine as well as in the trachea. And what is the purpose of this goblet cell? To secrete mucus into the lumen of the trachea as well as in the intestine. So these are, we can consider as a unicellular gland of the vertebrate. Now most glands of the body are composed of more than one cell. So they are known as multicellular gland. Now multicellular gland we can classify that on the uh, as exocrine and endocrine glands. So exocrine glands means the exocrine gland consists of a secretory portion and a duct, and secretory portion arranged as a cluster of secretory cells known as secretory unit, which has a central lumen which open into the first portion of the ductular system. And then exocrine gland can be classified in several different ways based on the shape and form of secretory unit. Okay, so exocrine gland can be classified in several ways based on what? Shape and form of the secretory unit, nature of the secretion, and mechanism of secretion. So we will see it later. Now endocrine gland, certain glands are lacking in duct and are termed as endocrine gland. Endocrine glands secrete a specific chemical substance called hormone, which have a specific effect on the other tissue or organ of the body, like thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, pituitary gland. Okay, and secretion of these glands are conveyed directly into the bloodstream. To facilitate this, endocrine gland have numerous sinusoids. Sinusoid means in the tissue the leaky vessel is there, that is called as sinusoid. Means leaky vessel means the cells in the wall are not adjacent, they are located at some distance, so that the product of secretion of the gland is directly coming in the bloodstream without the help of duct, forming an extensive network. And surrounding these glands have the numerous sinusoid which forms the extensive network surrounding the secretory cells, which are usually arranged in small groups, follicles, and anatomizing cords of cells. So we will see it in also in detail. Then unicellular exocrine gland, the goblet cell. Goblet cell produce the mucin. Mucin is along with the water, it forming the mucus, and it protect and lubricate many internal body surface. As we can see in the photograph, this is the secretory vesicles inside the goblet cell. This is the nucleus of the goblet cell. If you see it in animated photograph, then this is the nucleus, this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Here we can see the Golgi apparatus, and this is the secretory vesicle containing mucus or mucin. Then mucin will excreted out of the goblet cell, which is in contact with water, is forming the mucus. Microvilli are also visible in the, like we can see in here. So microvilli are found for that, for the purpose of the increasing the surface area whatever is coming inside the lumen of the in the intestine. So microvilli is indicating that it is the goblet cell found in the columnar epithelium of the intestine. Okay, now the multicellular glands. So exocrine glands are ductular glands. Exocrine glands are a secretory portion and a duct is found. So these you can see these are the secretory portion, these are the duct. The cluster of secretory cells, that is a secretory unit or acini. So these are the acini. There are 3 acini in this, we can see. In exocrine gland classified based on the shape and form of the acini, nature of the secretion, mode of secretion. Then based on the shape of the secretory unit, tubular exocrine gland, acinas or alveolar, and those are having both tubule and alveoli, that is called tubulo-alveolar. Tubular is secretory unit are tubular in appearance. Acinas or alveolar are having secretory unit that is are more rounded. Okay, then tubular portions with lateral and terminal alveoli. Then based on the shape of the ductular system, simple or compound type of glands are found. Some simple means ductular system of the gland may be simple epithelial tube, and compound when extensively branched ductular system is found. Now you can see here simple ductular structure that does not branch, that is simple tubular gland which is found in the intestine. Okay, and simple branched tubular which is found in the stomach or gastric glands. After that simple alveolar, so this is the simple alveolar. That is no important example in women's, very less examples are in the body we can do it, take or choose. Then the simple branched alveolar is the sebaceous gland, that is sebaceous secreting gland of the ear, or they are the simple branched alveolar. After that, compound ductular system or duct branches, that is compound tubular. Example is duodenal gland of the in small intestine. So that is the Brunner's gland, that is found in the mammals in the duodenum. So they are simple branched, okay, not simple compound tubular glands. Then compound alveolar glands, so they are the mammary glands. Compound alveolar glands are the mammary glands, and compound tubular are the duodenal glands. After that, compound tubulo-alveolar are the salivary glands. Remember this thing. Now simple glands like simple tubular we can see here. This is the photograph. Simple alveolar or simple acinar we can see here. This is the photograph, and this is the difference between the acinar and alveolar. Alveolar means space is more, alveoli means lumen or inside that cavity like structure is found in the alveoli, while the acini means the outer it is appearing like the alveoli, but cavity is not there, means only the tubular luminal structure is there. After that, simple tubulo-alveolar gland. So this is the tubulo-alveolar gland, you can see, in which the tubules and as well as alveoli both are found. Okay, so simple tubular gland, that is divided according to the structure of the fundus, that is straight or coiled or branched. Like that we can again divide them. So see, straight tubular gland, like this we can see here, the entire tube runs as a straight unbranched course. Glands of the large intestine are uh, that is the simple straight tubular gland. Then coiled tubular gland, that is sweet glands. So sweet glands are deeper portion of the tube as coiled, that is a sweet gland of the skin. Okay, so this is the indicating you this sweet glands. Okay, and after that this is the section. And after that so tubular coiled tubular is found in the that is the structure of the sweet glands of the body. After that, branched tubular gland. So this is, you can see that it is branched here. So deeper portion of the tube branches stomach. Okay, like it is found in the stomach. Fundic, pyloric and cardiac glands of the gastric mucous membrane. So fundic, pyloric and cardiac glands of the gastric means all the glands of the stomach are branch tubular. Okay, you know that in the stomach also some glands are found, as we know that the different type of cells are also there in the stomach. Now simple glands again, simple alveolar, that is sebaceous gland. We can see here secretory unit has a sac like lumen. Okay, meibomian gland, meibomian and sebaceous gland are the example. Then simple tubulo-alveolar and the Brunner's gland of the duodenum, that is the tubulo-alveolar. So Brunner's we have seen here. Here we have you can see that compound tubular gland in the form of compound tubular gland you have seen, and here you can see in, that is the tubulo-alveolar also. They are compound tubular or tubulo-alveolar also. In some animals there is a differentiation. Now compound glands. So large number of branching duct system join to form a common duct, and based on the shape of the secretory unit, compound glands are classified into three types, that is compound tubular, compound alveolar and compound tubulo-alveolar. So compound tubular gland, that is a terminal end of the duct system and in end in a tubular secretory unit which may be coiled, that is testis and kidney. So in the kidney and testis, the tubules are there, that is a compound tubular glands we can say. Compound alveolar gland, terminal end of the duct system and alveoli, where we can find that compound alveolar means terminal end of duct system and alveoli. So we can find mammary glands. Inside the mammary gland, compound alveolar glands are found. Then in the parotid and pancreas, parotid salivary gland and pancreas, compound tubuloalveolar glands are found. Secretory unit here are with the terminal and lateral alveoli and salivary gland of the digestive system, that branch tubuloacinar gland. After that, compound glands, that parenchyma is there. Okay, so secretory unit has a central lumen surrounded by secretory cells. Okay, so secretory unit has a central lumen is there, that is surrounded by secretory cells. As we can see, this is the duct here, that is the acinar duct is the smallest duct, continue with the lumen of the secretory unit, lined by flattened or cuboidal epithelium, as we can see here. And in this location, many acinar duct unite to form intralobular duct. So many acinar duct combinedly form intralobular duct lined by simple columnar epithelium. Okay, and then interlobular duct unite to form interlobular duct located in the interlobular connective tissue lined by columnar epithelium. So here you can see capsule, interlobal connective tissue septa, it is a lobe, then the interlobular septa, lobules, and each lobule made up of number of secretory unit, that is the acini. So we can see here that these are the acini, numerous acini are there, and from the acini the duct is coming, that is if it is surrounded by cuboidal cell, then we can say that it is acinar duct. If it is surrounded by columnar epithelium, then intralobular as well as interlobular, we can say. After that, multicellular exocrine gland, based on the manner in which the gland elaborate their secretion, that is mode of secretion, but that is of murocrine type. Murocrine or ecrine means what? We can see this is the gland, this is the secretory product coming from the cells of the gland into the lumen. Okay, so why we can say that this is a merocrine or ecrine? Because if the secretion of the cell excreted via exocytosis from the secretory cells, so this is coming, this secretion is coming with the help of the this process that is called exocytosis from the secretory cells into the epithelial walled duct or ducts. Then salivary gland. Okay, the salivary gland like parotid gland, mandibular gland, that is a branch tubuloacinar gland, and sweet gland, that is simple coiled tubular or simple tubular gland. Exocrine pancreas and endocrine glands involve the release of substance that have been stored in the apical cytoplasm in the form of membrane bound secretory granules, are the example of the this kind of secretion. After that, apocrine. Okay, so apocrine, in this case we can find that the apical portion of the cell is lost and cytoplasm and secretory product is coming. So we can see that apical portion is pinched off into the secretion, that is the simple or branched alveolar glands, that is mammary gland, are the example of this kind of the cells. And the sweet glands of the perineal and lips, and we can say that hairless part of the body is the example of the apocrine secretion. We can see here that the apocrine secretion in the sweet gland or skin of pig, the cell surface bulged. Here you can see the lumen of the tubular sweet gland, apocrine secretion of the sweet is coming, myoepithelial cell is there, means the cell which is having the muscle fibers or myoblast cells, that is helpful for the contraction, that will leads to the secretion, easy secretion. And cuboidal epithelium is there into the wall of the gland, we can find here. So cell surface bulge into the lumen of the tubular gland, and the plasma lemma constrict around the secretory granules and adjacent cytoplasm, eventually separating both from the cell surface. Apocrine sweet glands produces scent used in communication. Okay, so that is found in case of pig. Now we can see another example, that apocrine secretion by the columnar epithelial cells, that is the ependydymal duct in case of bull. So this is the apocrine secretion. Apical portion of the cell is also coming into the secretion. Secretion occurs by the vesicular constriction of the plasma lemma around the secretory product and adjacent cytoplasm. So this is the Mason's trichome staining photograph of the epididymal cells of the bull, indicating you the apocrine secretion. We can see the nucleus of the columnar cell, loose connective tissue with fibrocytes. Now, canine foot pad. So, canine foot pad is also having the another kind of that is the merocrine we already discussed. That is the merocrine sweet gland is found in the canine foot pad. In this location, we can find this is the retinized stratified squamous epithelium. Then below that the connective tissue is there, and then below that glands are there. That is a merocrine type, in which this we can say that exocytosis process is leads to the secretion of the sweet in the canine foot pad. Then bovine muzzle is also merocrine, means through the exocytosis the muzzle is remains moist with the help of merocrine glands found in the bovine muzzle. So these are the alveoli, or you can see the ducts also. Now the pancreas secrete by the merocrine. So pancreas, that is secreting what? Pancreatic juice. That is the it is having two part, exocrine and endocrine. So exocrine part of the pancreas secrete through the merocrine, that is through the exocytosis of the cells. Now alveoli of the mammary gland. In this case, we can see this is the alveoli, which is having the wall, having that simple squamous epithelium, and cells secrete via both apocrine as well as for the merocrine. So apocrine for lipid, they are secreting apocrine for the apocrine method for the lipid, means lipid is if coming from the cells, it is the apical portion of the cell is also coming into the lumen or in the secretion because of the lipid. And then the protein and carbohydrate of the apocrine glands of the mammary gland, so that is secreted with the help of merocrine method. So if you know that the milk is coming from the mammary gland through the alveoli, so the in the milk the protein and carbohydrate are coming with the help of merocrine secretion, while the lipid in the milk is coming by the apocrine method. Now, the canine skin. In the canine skin, apocrine sweet glands are there, as we have seen the merocrine in the foot pad. But in the skin, body skin, the sweet glands are apocrine type because their apical portion of the cell is lost into the secretion. In case of canines, so these are the holocrine sebaceous gland. But in the case of dog, if you can see here, that apocrine sweet gland is there, and here in this location we can find the sebaceous gland, that is holocrine type. Holocrine is another kind. After merocrine, apocrine, we have to next learn about the holocrine, in which the whole cell is coming the secretion. So that is why it is called holocrine. So holocrine secretion means entire cell is destroyed during the secretion, and sebaceous gland, and that is sebaceous gland actually the on the basis of the morphology they are the branched alveolar type, and the cytokine was the next. So cytokine secretion, that is the example is melanocyte, means the secretory material is transferred from one cell to another cell. So if you see here, this is the holocrine disintegrating cell, and they are released the content like this. Mitotic division replace the cell like this, you can see. And in the exocrine extra epithelial alveolar holocrine gland with a multiple layer of the epithelial cells. So this is the sebaceous gland which is secreting holocrine, means you can see the whole cells of the cell of the gland are coming into the secretion. This is the basal cell, plasma lemma or basal lamina. This is the capillaries out and the outer surface, and autonomic nerve in a basal cell. Loose connective tissue is here. Mature epithelial cell with developing secretory granules. And autonomic nerve is here. Basal cell undergoing mitosis, degenerating nucleus, pycnotic nucleus, mature secretory granules forming component of the sebum, release of holocrine secretion containing secretory granules and fragments of the nuclei. So we can see that the loose connective tissue, compound alveolar sebaceous gland. Skin of the dog is having sebaceous gland. Lipid produced by the Golgi apparatus is secreted through the component of the disintegrating cell and or sebum, and the secretion passes via the short duct to be deposited onto the surface of the associated hair. And sebaceous glands are classified as extraepithelial, exocrine, alveolar, holocrine glands. So all the sebaceous glands are holocrine. In the ear, in our case also it is found, that is a holocrine type of secretion. Now based on the nature of secretion, so cytogenous and non-cytogenous. cytogenous glands are testis and ovary, means the secretion is in the form of cell, then it is cytogenous. And non-cytogenous means serous, mucus, mixed glands are classified. So they may also be classified based on the consistency of secretion. Like serous, the nucleus is rounded. In this case, serous glands, apical half of the cytoplasm contains zymogen granules. Cytoplasm and zymogen granule are acidophilic. Watery secretion is coming and deeply stained. Example is, so parotid glands, so that is are serous in nature, means the gland that is salivary gland, that is the parotid salivary gland, the secretion from this gland is coming are the serous in nature. After that, mucous glands, example is sublingual gland or goblet cell. Nucleus is flattened. In this case, cytoplasm contains mucinogen droplets above the nucleus, which impart a vacuolated appearance to the cytoplasm. Okay, and viscous secretion is coming. So lightly stained if it is. So this is the mucus type. Means sublingual glands are mucus. After that, mixed, that is a serous and mucus combined here. That is a mandibular or submaxillary gland or mixed type. So parotid is a serous type gland. Okay, parotid is a serous type gland that is similar to the exocrine part of the pancreas, that is also serous type. As we can see, this is the parotid gland and serous secretory granules from the gland of the lumen of the alveoli. This is the cytoplasm, this is the narrow lumen, this is the nucleus round in cross section. So parotid gland of dog serous secretory unit are characterized by a narrow lumen and spherical nuclei, we can see as seen in this image, and the secretory granules can be clearly demonstrated with methylene blue and saffron staining. So these are the secretory granules, that is serous type. So serous means what? Serous means watery secretion, they are water like. And mucus means viscous, means they are thick, viscous. Okay, so they are secreting the watery type appearance of the secretion. The example is parotid gland. Now mucus secreting glands, that is a labial gland. Okay, labial gland, or we have seen here, what is the example? Sublingual gland. And so we can see relatively wide lumen here, cytoplasm filled with the mucinogen, and they are mucus secreting glands, and that is the sublingual glands. So relatively large lumen with for the collection and transfer of this secretory product, we can see here. And pale cytoplasm filled with mucinogen and marginally positioned flattened nuclei and iron hematoxylate stain. So we can see like this also. After that, the marginal nucleus is there, means the nucleus is this, these are the cells and the nucleus is on the margin. So loose connected tissue is there in between the alveoli, these are the alveoli, and relatively wide lumen is there, cytoplasm filled with mucinogen. Myoepithelial cell is found in between the alveoli. So mandibular gland, that is a mixed type of gland. Mandibular gland, the lumen of the mucus secretory unit is typically relatively wide, facilitating the transport of the mucus secretion, and this is further transported by the contractile function of the peripherally located myoepithelial cell. Example is H&E staining. After that, we can see that the serous mucus and mixed secretory units of the compound tubuloacinar gland with the myoepithelial cell. So this is the striated duct, or this is this intercalated duct. Myoepithelial cell are appearing here pink like this. Then serous secretory unit with overlying myoepithelial cells. So these are the serous secretory unit. Mixed secretory unit with serous dimulsions. So actually sometimes this mixed means here we can see this is the mucus secretory unit with overlying myoepithelial cell, and this is the serous means watery secretion, and here the secretion is mucus type because of the mucin. And but the mixed type we can find the serous dimulsion, means half moon shaped appearance. This is the half moon shaped appearance of the structure. So that is why this is called serous dimulsions. Very important thing. So that mixed type of the secretory unit is having the both, that is the this one, that is the mucus type appearance, as well as this serous unit. They combinedly find a structure that is appearing like half moon like this, like this. So that is the structure is called serous dimulsions, which is found in the mixed type, that is the mandibular salivary glands. Okay, example. Now you can see here serous dimulsions like this, we can see these are the half moon shaped structure. This is a mucus cell, and outer to that this is a serous cell. Combinedly it is forming. So mucus means this one, that is the mucus, and serous means this one. A is the serous, this is having the myoepithelial cells, and the mixed is having the serous diamylins. Now the structure element of the exocrine glands. So morphological feature, gland type and example. Unicellular gland, that is example is goblet cell. Multicellular gland, example is salivary gland. Location of the secretory cell with respect to the surface epithelium. The intraepithelial gland means goblet cells. Extraepithelial cell gland, that all large exocrine glands. After that, shape of the secretory unit, tubular, the large intestine, acinar, parotid gland and exocrine pancreas, alveolar in the sebaceous gland, tubulo-alveolar or tubulo-acinar sublingual gland. After that, structure of the duct system, single secretory unit with a duct opening into the alveolar or epithelial surface, sweet glands, the branched duct glands with multiple secretory unit that open onto the unbranched duct, that is a gastric gland, compound gland in which the multiple secretory unit open into a strongly branched duct system, all the salivary gland. After that, merocrine or ecrine, most exocrine glands, apocrine, scent glands and mammary glands, holocrine means sebaceous gland, and cytocrine, as we already discussed, melanocytes. Then chemical composition, serous, parotid and exocrine pancreas, as I told. Then mucus, the pyloric gland and sublingual gland. Then seromucus means mandibular. Sublingual is written here, so it is means it is uh, some in animal wise there is a difference. Glands of the airway is the seromucus type. After that, endocrine glands. Endocrine gland means ducts are absent, secrete hormone like thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary gland. Secretion are conveyed directly into the bloodstream. Endocrine glands have numerous sinusoids. So this is all about the today's class. Thank you.